My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is July 27, 2024. It is 5:51 a.m. This is one of the videos I just finished upload, and I'm way behind. I did, I think, 2 or 3 videos yesterday, and I just finished edit this one, and it's rendering on my other computer, because if I do it on this computer, it's gonna mess up the recording that I'm doing right now. So yeah, let's go back to here. Let me schedule it now. I have to do thumbnails for it. This is a generic from YouTube. I want to look at some of the background of my channel really quickly. Okay, 4,403 subscribers, new subscribers, welcome. And a few, 6 o'clock is gonna be what, in 8 minutes. This is gonna change. All right, so these are the numbers: 4,403 subscribers, new subscribers, welcome. Estimate revenue, $121.73. Since I came back from my vacation, mini vacation, it hasn't changed much, but my subscription is growing. There's this here, 6,365 views in the last 48 hours. And then my subscription have grown, 107 subscribers since when? But anyway, so let's go on Twitter. This will be my first tweet, and I have about 9 tweets to share with you. There are a lot. I try to, do I have any politics in here? I think I didn't put any politics. So these are some stuff that I see, and later on I'm gonna go somewhere, so I need to record it really quickly, and hopefully I finish recording, edit it. 9 tweets to share with you, and this is the first one. Charles destroyed Diana and attacked Harry and Meghan for the love of Queen Camila. Well, Prince Harry stood up to King Charles and really lives for the woman he loves. Alright, so there's this here, deadbeat dad and grandfather, and there's that woman here. Okay, so there's this. If standing for yourself burns a bridge, I have matches. We ride at dawn. So there's that here. Okay, so there's the thumbs up. May the harm you wish on your son and his family return to you and yours tenfold. All right, so that's that. I thought it was a retweet, but it's the original tweet. So let's go to the next tweet, and I think it's a video. Is it from ITV? Yeah, I think it's because why did I put that again? So that's Access Hollywood. Okay, they pushed me too far. It got to a point where you damn if you do, and you're damn if you don't. And these are things that are genuine concern for me. It's one of the reasons why I want to bring my wife back to this country, Prince Harry. Okay, so let's listen to it.
Look at what has happened in the last 4 years to me, my wife, and my family, right? So that was a very hard decision for me to make, which is how bad is it going to get?
Some people would say that you know, you taking on these high-profile battles, but that actually attracts more attention onto you.
There is more than enough attention on me and my wife anyway. They pushed me too far.
That's
it
right.
got to a point where you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
You know, since the Oprah interview, he's with the majority of people who've been following Harry and Meghan understand why the Oprah interview had to be done. Okay? When he was in the UK, he asked his family to put something out there in defense of them. They did nothing. And then other thing pile up, keep on pile up. And then when he realized, you know, they're not for him, and then his brother literally pushed him out. And, you know, he had to do what he had to do to set the record straight, because they're telling people one thing. Okay, they're telling the public one thing. And then behind the scene, the media that doing completely something different. So he had to come out and tell his truth for record purposes. Okay, and since the Oprah interview, he's done other interview. Let's say the one he did in what's the place in Canada when he was promoting Invictus. All right, they tried to ask him question about him meeting his dad and stuff like that. I mean, he did basic response, and then everything else that's between him and his father. He didn't say anything else. But the tabloid continue, put word in his mouth and all of this. But every time there is something new that we find out that the royal family have done, okay, after his book Spare, things that Spare pretty much was, most of the things were already in the tabloid. He just tell his version of it. The tabloid wrote something and he tell his side of it. Okay? But everything else are in court. Okay? Everything else are in court. The thing about his brother push him out, how did we know? Did he said that when he was gonna meet Meghan, when he was doing the Central Valley thing? Okay? He didn't say it.
Prince Harry made his first public remarks tonight since he and his...
I must say that I can only imagine what you may have heard or perhaps read over the past few weeks. So I want you to hear the truth from me, as much as I can share, not as a prince or a duke, but as Harry, the same person that many of you have watched grow up over the last 35 years, but now with a clearer perspective. The UK is my home and a place that I love. That will never change. I've grown up feeling supported from so many of you, and I watched as you welcomed Meghan with open arms, as you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. Finally, the second son of Diana got hitched. Hooray. I also know that you've come to know me well enough over all these years to trust that the woman I chose as my wife upholds the same values as I do. And she does. And she's the same woman I fell in love with. We both do everything we can to fly the flag and carry out our roles for this country with pride. Once Meghan and I were married, we were excited, we were hopeful, and we were here to serve. For those reasons, it brings me great sadness that it has come to this. The decision that I have made for my wife and I to step back is not one I made lightly. It was so many months of talks after so many years of challenges. And I know I haven't always gotten it right, but as far as this goes, there really was no other option. What I want to make clear is we're not walking away, and we certainly aren't walking away from you. Our hope was to continue serving the Queen, the Commonwealth, and my military associations, but without public funding. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. I've accepted this, knowing that it doesn't change who I am or how committed I am. But I hope that helps you understand what it had come to, that I would step my family back from all I have ever known, to take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life. I was born into this life, and it is a great honour to serve my country and the Queen. When I lost my mum 23 years ago, you took me under your wing. You looked out for me for so long, but the media is a powerful force. And my hope is one day our collective support for each other can be more powerful, because this is so much bigger than just us. It has been our privilege to serve you, and we will continue to lead a life of service. So in that respect, nothing changes. It has also been a privilege to meet so many of you and to feel your excitement for our son Archie, who saw snow for the first time the other day and thought it was bloody brilliant. I will always have the utmost respect for my grandmother, my Commander-in-Chief, and I'm incredibly grateful to her and the rest of my family for the support they have shown Meghan and I over the last few months. I will continue to be the same man who holds his country dear and dedicates his life to supporting the causes, charities and military communities that are so important to me. Together, you have given me an education about living. and this role has taught me more about what is right and just than I could ever have imagined. We are taking a leap of faith, so thank you for giving me the courage to take this next step.
He put it in a board where, as a matter of fact, I thought he did, knowing what we know now, I thought he did a pretty good job not really saying what the family did to him, that his brother pushed him out.
Began to address Granny about the 5 options. Your Majesty, you've seen the 5 options? Yes, she said. We all had. They'd been emailed to us. 5 different ways of proceeding. Option 1 was continuance of the status quo. Meg and I don't leave. Everyone tries to go back to normal. Option 5 was full severance. No royal role, no working for Granny, and total loss of security. Option 3 was somewhere in between, a compromise, closest to what we'd originally proposed. I told everyone assembled that, above all, I was desperate to keep security. That was what worried me most, my family's physical safety. I wanted to prevent a repeat of history, another untimely death like the one that had rocked this family to its core 23 years earlier, and from which we were still trying to recover. I'd consulted with several palace veterans, people who knew the inner workings of the monarchy and its history, and they all said option 3 was best for all parties. Meg and I living elsewhere part of the year, continuing our work, retaining security, returning to Britain for charities, ceremonies, events. Sensible solution, these palace veterans said, and eminently doable. But the family, of course, pushed me to take option 1. Barring that, they would only accept option 5. We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the bee got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
Okay. Is it Spare? Spare also said in the, was it the Sandrian summit, wrote the document to push him out. The thing was already set. They already wrote the documents. The choices that they want for him. So that's that. Let's continue.
I think there's anybody else in the world that is better suited and placed to be able to see this through than myself. It's still dangerous, and all it takes is one lone actor, one person who reads this stuff to act on what they have read. And whether it's a knife or acid, whatever it is, and these are things that are genuine concern for me. It's one of the reasons why I won't bring my wife back to this country.
You were in charge of royal protection. How would you characterise the threats that Meghan and Harry received?
Well, disgusting and very real. I've talked publicly for many years about the threat of extreme right-wing terrorism in this country. I've often been misquoted as taking my eye off the ball, as though I think that that was the biggest threat. I've never called it the biggest threat, but it was the fastest growing. And my wonderful friend and counterpart at MI5 will tell you exactly the same thing, that when I started in CT in 2015... Counterterrorism, it was about 6% of our total workload. Certainly when I...
And his family, the royal family, knows about all of this. They know. But instead, they're instigating, they're stirring the pot to have someone, what Harry just said here, it just takes one person who read these things and then to make them act. And then their hand will be clean, slate, the royal family, like they didn't do anything. And then later on, God forbid, if there's a funeral, they're going to pretend they care and all of this. They're stirring the pot and they're feeding nonsense to the tabloid.
Institutional role, why be so public? You say you tried to do this privately.
And every single time I've tried to do it privately, there have been briefings and leakings and planting of stories against me and my wife. The family motto is never complain, never explain, but it's just a motto, and it doesn't really hold.
There's a lot of complaining and a lot of explaining.
Endless.
Private being done through leaks.
Through leaks. They will feed or have a conversation with the correspondent, and that correspondent will literally be spoon-fed information and write the story, and in the bottom of it, they will say that they've reached out to Buckingham Palace for comment. But the whole story is Buckingham Palace commenting. So when we're being told for the last 6 years, we can't put a statement out to protect you, but you do it for other members of the family, there becomes a point when silence is betrayal.
And the tabloid is writing their nonsense. Jeez. They know all of that. Let's continue.
They left 15, 16 months ago. It was over 20% of our workload.
But there were many serious, credible threats against Meghan, were there, emanating from the far right in this
Absolutely.
country?
If you'd seen the stuff that was written and you were receiving it, the kind of rhetoric that's online, if you don't know what I know, you would feel under threat all of the time.
So you were convinced that there was a genuine threat to Meghan's life on on more than one occasion, on several occasions?
We had teams investigating it. People have been prosecuted for those threats.
All right, so there's no comments, and the person blacked
Look at what has happened in the last 4 years.
Black the comment. Let me see if I could view some of the. They black some stuff. I can't. There's a lot of retweet, but I can't see the quote retweet. All right, so let's go to the next tweet. All right, what is this here? This is why Prince Harry is fighting, not just for himself, but for the people who can't. What they did is despicable. All right, so that's a retweet. There's no comment of the retweet, so let's go to the original tweet. Okay, continuation of what she wrote and the headline of the false story Richard Eden wrote. I also added her response to someone's asking her to sue. These people are just despicable and should be allowed to get away with destroying lives. Okay, that's a lot of it here. The Daily Mail have been contacted by my representative and asked to remove this article, which is entirely false, with a false headline that somehow makes my mother responsible for a health issue that struck me 4 days after the funeral of my father. They have refused multiple times. This is irresponsible and cruel and causes stress, of which they have been repeatedly made aware. It is time to stop using real people's cancers and bereavement as some sort of sideways opportunity to body shame women. Do better, Daily Mail. Our entire industry knows that you hate and shame women. In fact, it is apparent to everyone. Given that 81% of women in the UK fear for their physical safety, how do you feel you are contributing by attacking and lying and ambushing women deliberately to bully them and create false narratives? You could have asked anything about the charities involved, but instead you choose to drag my mother's health in an attempt to pretend you have a conversation with me so that you could continue an unwanted narrative about my body. Disgusting. Just stop and never use my mother in this way again. In fact, have some decency and apologize to my mother and remove this article as requested. There's that. Tag somebody. Confidential. It didn't happen. So confidential. It didn't happen. Okay. So that why don't you just sue them, Kate? Okay, they are very careful about their legal loopholes, so they can cause massive suffering and damage, but it's not technically libelous or defamatory, even though it's intended to foment hate and cause harm. This is crazy. Who is that? Okay, Richard Eden. Kate Beckinsale opened up about the difficult time she's going through with her mother's cancer. Is that okay? So now I get it. This is the person Daily Fail is writing about, and then she tweeted. Was it tweet or was it IG? Whatever, but this is her profile on top. So she's pointing out this is a false narrative story about her. Okay, now I understand. I don't know who she is. I see her name, but I don't know who she is. This is sad. And this is the kind of thing that they want to bring in the US. My goodness. Wow. This is the same type of thing with Simon Case. He knows the law so well. He'll push it to the brink, but to a point where he doesn't cross the line, but enough to put so much distress on you. So it's the same thing here with the Daily Fail. Okay, Moving Eden is a liar. Let's see here. Okay, to clarity, I have never met or spoken to Richard Eden, who has written an article implying that I have opened up to him about my mother cancer. I do not know him and certainly will not speak to the Daily Mail or any other tabloid about something so personal that is not even mine to share. The Daily Mail has apparently an obsession with keeping an image of me as sick and suffering when I have been transparent about an illness that occurred in March. It's now August and I am fully recovered. Richard Eden was not at this event despite implying that he was and had conversation with me. In actual fact, I was ambushed at the end of a red carpet for a charity event. I was a chair of an aid of disadvantaged children and refugees by a woman I thought at first was part of the event. Once she started asking personal questions, she was shut down by both myself and one of the event organizers. Oh my Lord. What in the name is this? So there's that. There's no comment. This is crazy. Wow. Okay, so let's go to the next one. This is the way these people operate. I don't know who any of these here. I believe this is one of the squaddies. Okay, let's go to the next tweet. Okay, so there's that. Let's pause this. While Prince Harry was planning to take Murdoch to court, Prince William was making friendship bracelets with Murdoch and that devil Rebecca Cooks, as Harry called her, knowing what happened to his mother. And still mind-blowing, what does Murdoch have on Prince William? Alright, so there's that. That's crazy. And I believe this one in the back, that's one of Murdoch's sons, I think. My goodness, William.
Palace in particular is very keen to me.
William has so much power, and I don't think he understands how he could have used it. Alright, so let's listen to this. 26 seconds. Let's move it back.
The palace in particular was very keen to make sure that the heir to the throne was protected, and Harry could be sacrificed if necessary. And actually, when I was working, I shouldn't give the name of the paper, but I was doing a piece for one of the nationals, writing a piece. And I was told, because I'm quite critical of the monarchy in many ways, I was told I could say what I wanted about Harry and Meghan, but I had to lay off William and Kate. That was the instruction from the editor. So I think there was an element of truth in what he says. The palace in particular was very keen to make sure that the heir to the throne.
Yeah, it's playing again.
Rebelling. You know, he wasn't the only one. Prince William was getting drunk quite a lot himself. Nobody seemed to report about that. So there was an image of the good prince and the bad prince, and Harry got labelled the bad prince.
It's crazy.
If the problem was Harry, as one senior courtier said to me, the solution was the army. But that wouldn't happen until he was 20, which meant the Royal Press Office faced nearly 2 years of Prince Harry as fair game for a hungry press pack.
It was rebelling.
Okay, it's playing again.
You know,
It's playing again. Let's see some of the comments. Well, only one spot on. There's the thumbs up. Let's go to the next tweet. Okay, so there's more here. I don't blame him when his own so-called family members are working with British media, who are the propaganda machine of the firm. There's Piers Morgan here. Okay, from The Guardian. Piers Morgan encouraged illegal targeting of Diana, says Prince Harry. This is crazy. Okay, yeah, I remember this. That's when what's this guy who wrote this nonsense about Meghan? Something, is it what's his name? Oh, I forgot his name. Maybe his name is in there, I think. Is it Jeremy something? Exclusive Camila's very glamorous private party, Dame Judi Dench, Piers Morgan, Claudia Winkleman, and Jeremy Clarkson. Jeremy Clarkson, joined Queen Consort at star-studded Mayfair lunch as she proves Meghan isn't the only royal with the pulling power. So sad, childish. And this is the guy people were starting to scream for the nonsense he wrote about Meghan. God, give them a baggage. Charles Camilla hired executive from Daily Mail Group, Meghan and Harry sued. That was back 2022, 2 years ago. And there's that image again. Well, since William was, I guess, mid-teen, okay, was taking him to these type of things, parties, so they could influence him. Charles is horrible. Okay. Prince Harry says he won't bring Meghan back, too dangerous, UK over safety fears. Okay, so there's that here. That was part of the retweet. Let's pause. I don't blame him. I won't either. His own family took the side of the media. So let's listen to this. 45 seconds.
Pleased to be able to see this through than myself.
Never seen anybody. I haven't seen serial killers come in for as much abuse from British newspapers and some broadcasters as Prince Harry has.
All it takes is one lone actor, one person who reads this stuff to act on what they have read, and whether it's a knife or acid, whatever it is, and these are things that are a genuine concern for me. It's one of the reasons why I won't bring my wife back to this country.
How would you characterise the threats that Meghan and Harry received?
Okay.
Well, disgusting and very real. If you'd seen the stuff that was written and you were receiving it, we'd feel under threat all of the time. We had teams investigating it, people have been prosecuted for it.
Pleased to be able to see this.
Okay, it's playing again. So there's that. There's two comments under this. Let's check it out. Okay, I can see it. This is spam, probably derangers. So there's that. He's absolutely right not to. You taxi British media people are all deranged and a cahoot with the dysfunctional so-called royal cult masquerading as a family. You all dangerous propagandists and sycophants who needs to leave Harry and his young family alone. So there's all of that. Tormented Meghan Markle has become a national sport that shames us. That was back 2019. Harry and Meghan and me, my truth as a royal reporter. That's this woman. I haven't heard about her lately. I mean, I never follow her. If the squad don't share stuff from these people, I would not know. But I haven't heard much about her. There was one thing she said when Meghan came out about the the miscarriage. She went on a rant with about Meghan's miscarriage, and then months later, she was in one of her radio show, and she's saying she had a miscarriage too. And I'm like, what? The way you respond to Meghan, why will you bring this now? You think people's gonna feel sorry for you, especially after you treated the way you treated Meghan? I mean, I don't wish anybody who's trying to go through that, but the way she responded and behaved toward Meghan when Meghan was disclosing her situation, it's very disgusting. Okay, make no mistake, it's an insult. Fleet Street's jury said Meghan and Harry can expect no mercy after their stunning decision to go rogue and quit. They all are baggage for God. Public opinion defines their reputation. Public opinion is, in part, shaped by the press and social media and commentary, etc. That's what a reputation is. It is defined as, quote, the belief or opinions that are generally held about someone or something. But the thing is that you don't have to go out of your way to go into their private life and, say untruthful things. Alright, so there's that. Let's pause it. This is a man that loves his wife and kids over himself. Okay, woman living in a gun-ridden country won't come to the UK. Let's see here. Okay, let's that. She has armed security in the US. The threat to the UK safety in the UK is well documented. And not only that, his security, Harry and Meghan's security, when they go to the UK, they can carry arms. They cannot carry guns, but in the US they can. Oh my God. We just heard that. It's about the abuse she will get. USA have stricter privacy laws. That's right. That's another thing too. Yes, and it says more about the UK. Hasn't been other people, and you know what, let me not raise that, forget it. There's a lot of things going in my mind, but I don't want to say it so people think other thing. According to a previous Metropolitan Police Assistant Commissioner, the Duchess of Sussex received disgusting and very real threat to her life while she lives in the UK. People have been prosecuted over the threats. Alright, so that's a different language. There's all of that. I'll click on it. You guys go read it if you want. Alright, so that's him who wrote the nonsense about Meghan. And then that to be in a marriage decided to have lunch with him. Disgusting. Yet he'll take her to Jamaica and Nigeria, make it make sense. And then people over there mind their own business. They enjoy their company. So in the UK, you guys told her to leave.
Piers,
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
You guys told her to go back to America. Okay, she doesn't get the death threats toward her. She gets it in the UK. All this abuse toward her. Okay, let me put my comment here. Okay, so this is what I would. Well, Piers Morgan told her to go back to America. That's exactly what she did in America, her country. All right. She doesn't get the death threat toward her. She gets in the UK all this abuse toward her just because some can't accept her doesn't make this country look very good. You don't have to like her, but why all the abuse? It's been going on 6 years. All right, and free, think a little. No, he still thinks she's more safe in those places than here. What does that say about our country? I don't want to look into that. Those countries are friendly to them. That's it. Say more about the UK than it does about Nigeria and Jamaica. All right, so there's that. Where the people love them both. Their media will give positive report. Loves to slate Harry and Meghan, yet never comment on IG. Nothing said when Harry won his court case in December. Make it make sense. Okay, it's easy. If you can't figure it out on your own, then isn't for you to know. Right, at least in Jamaica and Nigeria, she's not getting death threats due to her race, unlike in the UK. All right, so there's that. And when they were going to Nigeria, the British media tried to stir some stuff. Okay, they tried to stir some stuff. All right, next tweet. When Piers Morgan said that a royal called him and thanked him for his attack on Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, people on Instagram asked him who that royal was.
You heard from anyone in the palace thanking you for the, serious defense of them?
I've had some messages communicated to me on behalf of several members of the royal family.
Upper level
We're very
people?
grateful that. Well, I'm not going to go into who it was, but what I would say is gratitude that somebody was standing up for them.
He then posted the picture below. On my last video I was editing, I just put that as well. Alright, so there's that. Piers Morgan claims royal family have reached out to thank him for attack on Meghan. Morgan said he wants to sit down for an interview with the Duchess Markle so he could put some difficult question to her. Please. And then twist her words. In front of her, he probably will ask decent question, and then when he goes in front of his TV screen, he's gonna start trashing her. There's that. I have this. I think I have the screenshot of that. Okay, Piers said, what is it? I think is it on Extra TV in the US? Something Bush, Billy Bush, I think that's his name, who was asking him some question about that. Okay, so I'll put what I'm talking about here. Piers said the encouraging words to stand up for his belief was a note from the divorced Duchess of York, still titled 30 years after the divorce, another royal adulteress. Okay, small, there's that here. I don't want to read this. Kensington Palace resident. Okay, so there's that. Was that a retweet? No. Let's go to the next one. If when Harry goes to court, and push come to shove and he has to come and testify, he definitely not gonna take the blame for the royal family. He will say it, I think, unless I don't know how much money that will save him from not saying it. Next tweet. That time Piers Morgan asked Sinead O'Connor to come on his show, and she replied with this. There's the laugh here. She ate him up and left his bloated. Hateful, there's the word here, crying. May she continue to rest in peace. Alright, I read it already. Please pause your screen and read it. There's some stuff I have to beep out, and then YouTube, all sort of things. Pause it and read it. I'm sorry. Oh my God, there's no comment. I thought there was a comment. Okay, maybe I'll beep myself as I read this. Okay, hi Piers. I think it's best I don't do your show because of the irresistible temptation I will have to point out that you're dying to be, there's the word here, Meghan Markle so bad is driving you crazy, and that your dislike of Prince Harry is down to his being, there's the word here, and her 10 times a day. It being the case that if you were ever to get near her, which will never happen, Your last 10 seconds, and that will be that for 10 days. Sincerely, Sinead O'Connor. Like like this tweeter said, may she rest in peace. There's no comment. All right, pause it and read it yourself, because I skipped some words. I don't want YouTube to come and flag my video. Next tweet. Okay, so this is the video we just saw a few minutes ago. Somebody inserted it in another video. What Prince Harry said on tabloid on trial about not feeling safe to bring his wife to the UK is not paranoia or fabrication. It is real. ITV and Channel 4 are doing the job that BBC should be doing. Tabloid incite so much hate, racism against Meghan. Alright, for the sake of that again, let's put it. Oh, so there's more. Alright, so let's listen. Did she put it? Let me see how many minutes on this one. Let's see here. So it's the same thing. So let's do this one. Let's pause that. The so-called rift explained below by ITV source. Harry's father and brother took the side of the tabloid. Listen and decide. All right.
Between a father and his son breaking down, and the fact that we have now heard that Harry was told that unless he withdrew these allegations that he made, and he named an official, unless he withdrew that allegation, his allowance would be stopped. And when he said he wasn't going to withdraw the allegation, he wanted to pursue the case against the Sun newspaper, his allowance was stopped. So I think we've seen essentially where this very, very serious rift in the royal family got to the point of...
Would you characterise the threats that...
I would love to listen more of this. So they stopped his allowance, and then as he left, remove his security and all of that. So they're really pissed that he's making money now to defend himself. But let's continue. We've heard that already, but for the sake of this portion of this tweet, let's listen to it again.
Meghan and Harry received.
Well, disgusting and very real. I've talked publicly for many years about the threat of extreme right-wing terrorism in this country. I've often been misquoted as taking my eye off the ball, as though I think that was the biggest threat. I've never called it the biggest threat, but it was the fastest growing. You know, and my wonderful friend and counterpart at MI5 will tell you exactly the same thing, that when I started in CT in 2015... Counterterrorism, it was about 6% of our total workload. Certainly when I left 15, 16 months ago, it was over 20% of our workload.
But there were many serious, credible threats against Meghan, were there, emanating from the far right?
Absolutely. If you'd seen the stuff that was written and you were receiving it, the kind of rhetoric that's online, if you don't know what I know, you would feel under threat all of the time.
So you were convinced that there was a genuine threat to Meghan's life?
It's playing again. He is right. I had it for her that We Are Invictus is heading to the UK in 2027. Okay, this shows the royal family, Kensington Royal, the Met Police, all in a bad light. I don't trust any of them. Alright, so there's a lot of people tagging other people. There's all of that. Totally agree with Prince Harry. Yes, but the disingenuous Jane Moore is on ITV. What's LW? I think it's one of the morning show. What is it? Loose Women. That's it. Loose Women again today, blaming Harry and Meghan that they choose to move to the US. And every time they said that, we have to point out it was William and Charles who kicked them out. William hired Simon Case to write the document to make it legal, okay, for Harry to get the hell out of there. Okay, that's 2 court documents we find out. Okay, and totally ignoring the fact that Brits press incite hate against Harry and Meghan, so much so 2 white Brits are in jail for trying to kill them. Well, Harry and Meghan are still in love and married. 100%, not racism. It may have a lot to do with her behavior. What behavior? Writing the book, help get, what is it, the cookbook, helping the Brits to be self-sufficient. So is that the behavior? Oh my God. Not racism. It may have a lot to do with her behavior and things she said, especially when Philip and the Queen were dying. What? Okay, so this is what I respond. Okay, I didn't send it yet. Her behavior, what? When Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were dying, were you there to know anything? The F is wrong with you. Leading to Queen Elizabeth death, she was in the UK, that's Meghan that is, One Young World, then to Germany, 1 year leading to Invictus, the week of Queen Elizabeth's funeral. The British media didn't even acknowledge Queen Elizabeth's reign at all. British media were too busy hating Meghan Markle. Get your crap and get out. Alright, so that's that. My goodness, they're talking as if people don't know. Oh my god, let's just black. So there's that. What is this now? Oh, that's a GIF. And this has been going on for 7 years without end. Until today, from the British media, the state doesn't do anything about it. Why nothing? It is unpolite. The state and media sleep with the royals. Oh no, she's all afraid of not being knighted. Sick country. Alright, so that's that. Let's go to the next tweet. And that's my last one. And then I'm gonna try to edit as soon as possible before, because later on we're going somewhere. 6:30. Okay, nothing but love and admiration for Nacho. There's no comment here. Let's go into that. Pause again. Okay, Nacho is such a great friend. He's truly the big brother Harry deserves. 1 minute and 6 seconds.
Because people are saying, how dare he go and play after Meghan gave birth so soon?
Right. How dare that guy, you know, tells a father who loves his child and is leaving her house for 24 hours to go raise money for thousands of vulnerable children in Africa. How dare he said something like that, right? It bothers me how these guys change the narrative of the thing. And if you don't pay attention and you don't respond, you know,
if you don't call him on it,
yeah, strongly, then that's the story, or in your news thing, and then you read, oh, this guy left his house, how dare he, and that's what stays in your head, right?
Right.
You receive the information, it's edited in a way,
right,
and you process it that way.
Very discreet about your friendship with them. The fact that you chose to speak up about it, I think, speaks volumes about how strongly you feel about it. It caught my attention because I know how guarded you are about them.
Very, and I thought that this was important because I think that they are being misinterpreted in so many different ways, and it bothers me a lot.
Wow, that's Nacho for you. Let me retweet that. Okay, but this one has some comment. I cannot see that. This was in reference to him playing in the Centabali fundraising polo match a few weeks after Archie's birth. Few weeks? It was weeks, it's not the same day. Unlike Charles, when Princess Diana gave birth to Harry, and then he went to play polo. Is this new? Not new. I've seen it before. Alright, when can I get a full video? He's the brother Harry never had. That's that. A good friend and brother of Harry at the same time. Thumbs up. There's that. Love him. There's the loving eye. He really is. There is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. I love Nacho. Love Prince Harry's brother Nacho. He's got his back all day, every day, and not scared to show it. Bullseye, 100%. That is a true friend and brother. So genuine. It's in his tone and eyes. Yeah, you could see it. What a friend. Love him. Thank you for being so loyal, Nacho. Nacho is one of the original squaddies, that's for sure. Counter the lies with the truth. I'd never seen this. He's a real one. Bless you, Nacho. What a friend indeed. We love you, Prince Harry and Meghan. Alright, now that is a brother. He is by far a much better friend to Harry than William has ever been a brother. He is a brother Harry never had. I love this man. This is Harry's real brother, Nacho Figueras, Harry and Meghan. Alright, so that's it. So, let's see. What's the new video for today? Is it this one? Maybe it's on PYTE. Let me go check PYTE. I have to make sure. Yeah, I think it's this one. That's the new one here. Okay, so that's that. For PYTE is 3,949 subscribers. Estimate revenue $25.74. But anyway, I need to grab the link and put it on my community board to let people know this is the video. Where is that? It's not on APTS Team Sussex. So I switch back to APTS Team Sussex. The number is 4,403 subscribers. Analytics. Let's see if anything changed from the first page. There's that. From the beginning of this video. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And don't forget to check my shop, Spread Shop, and Zazzle. I have some puzzles there. Okay, thank you for watching.
Lavanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.